Imagine stepping outside one morning. The sky is still blue for a heartbeat, then it tears away. No wind, no sound, no breath. In this moment, Earth loses something so familiar we rarely think about it: its atmosphere. The invisible ocean of air that wraps our planet, the shield that makes Earth alive. This is the story of what would happen next. The atmosphere is not just air, it is a layered system stretching hundreds of kilometers above us. Nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, held in place by gravity, balanced over billions of years. It regulates temperature, it protects us from radiation, it allows liquid water to exist, it makes sound travel, it makes fire burn, it makes life possible. Now imagine it gone, instantly, every molecule stripped away into space. The first seconds would be absolute chaos. With no air pressure, every human, animal, and plant on the surface would face the vacuum of space. Lungs would empty violently, not explode, but collapse. Oxygen in the blood would vanish. Consciousness would fade in about 10 seconds. There would be no screaming. Sound cannot travel without air. The world would go silent. Water would begin to boil, not from heat, but from lack of pressure. Oceans, lakes, even moisture on skin would start evaporating explosively. Within moments, nearly all surface life would be gone, but the planet itself would continue its transformation. Without the atmosphere, sunlight would strike Earth unfiltered. During the day, temperatures would soar to over 120 degrees Celsius. At night, heat would escape instantly into space, plunging temperatures to minus 150 degrees. There would be no gradual sunset, no warmth trapped, just brutal extremes. Earth would become a world of fire and ice every single day. The ozone layer, once guarding us from ultraviolet radiation, would no longer exist. Cosmic rays and solar radiation would slam directly into the surface. DNA would be shredded. Any remaining exposed life would be sterilized. Now look to the skies. Meteors that once burned up harmlessly would rain down unchallenged. Every day, everywhere, the surface would be scarred continuously. Earth would begin to resemble the moon, but worse. Clouds would vanish instantly. No rain, no storms, no weather of any kind. The water cycle would collapse. Rivers would boil away. Oceans would slowly bleed into space, molecule by molecule. Within thousands of years, most of Earth's water would be gone. To understand this future, we can look to Mars. Mars once had a thick atmosphere. Rivers flowed, lakes existed, possibly oceans, but Mars lost its magnetic field. The solar wind stripped its atmosphere away. Over millions of years, the planet dried, froze, and died. What we are imagining for Earth is the same process, compressed into an instant. Now consider the ground beneath your feet. Without air, tectonic processes would continue, but volcanism would change dramatically. Eruptions would be more explosive at first, gases escaping violently into vacuum. Then, over time, volcanic activity would quiet as internal pressures adjust. The planet would still be geologically alive, but biologically, it would be a grave. Deep underground, however, life might cling on. Microbes living kilometers beneath the surface, shielded from radiation and temperature swings, could survive. In the deepest oceans, near hydrothermal vents, if water remained long enough, life might persist for a time. But complex life gone, plants would die almost instantly. Photosynthesis requires carbon dioxide and pressure and stable temperatures. Animals would vanish, insects, birds, fish, mammals, all erased in seconds to minutes. Human technology would fail almost immediately. Satellites would fall unpredictably without atmospheric drag calculations. Electronics on the surface would fry under radiation. Power grids would shut down. Nuclear plants would melt down if cooling systems failed. Cities would remain empty, frozen, scorched. Over millions of years, Earth would continue changing. The surface would crack under temperature stress. Ice would migrate to shadowed craters near the poles. Chemical reactions would slow almost to nothing. Earth would still orbit the sun, still spin, still have a magnetic field, but it would no longer be a living world. From space, it would look hauntingly familiar, blue and brown, cloudless, silent, a reminder of what happens when one invisible layer disappears. The atmosphere is easy to ignore because it is everywhere. Because it weighs nothing in our hands, because it is free. Yet it presses down on every square inch of your body with the weight of a car. It filters deadly radiation. It keeps oceans liquid. It smooths the violence of space into something gentle enough for life. Lose it, and Earth becomes hostile in an instant. This thought experiment is not just science fiction. It is a warning written across the solar system. Venus shows us what happens with too much atmosphere. Mars shows us what happens when you lose it. Earth survives because it walks a narrow line, and that raises a deeper question. If something so invisible is so essential, what other fragile systems are holding our world together right now? And what would happen if the next one disappeared?